The Earth, the Sun, the Milky Way galaxy, and all the stars in it, along with everything that exists in our universe, are contained within something. The dimensions. Without dimensions, things cannot be seen or even have an effect. So, for something to exist, it needs dimensions. Without dimensions, that object won't exist at all. But the main question here is, how many dimensions does the universe have? Does it have 1 dimension, or 3, or maybe even 11 dimensions? Yes, you heard that right. Our universe has 11 dimensions, and if you stay with us until the end of the video, we will explain it to you. Please stay with us till the end of video. If we could think about having another dimension beyond the 4 we're familiar with, we could do really strange and amazing things. At the end of the video, we'll see what kind of things could be possible with these extra dimensions. We all know about the 3 directions. We can move in space, up and down, left and right, forward and backward, plus time. But let's look at them one by one. Length, width, height, and depth make up space around us. Time is the 4th dimension. We can control where we go in the 3 space dimensions. We can move around freely, but we can't control time. We can only move forward in it. If we could control time, we'd have some pretty incredible abilities. We could move back and forth through time, visiting the past, present, and future. A great movie about controlling time is Back to the Future. It's a classic science fiction comedy where the main character, Marty McFly, accidentally travels back in time in a modified DeLorean car invented by his friend. Imagine what we could do with time control. But this is just the beginning of our journey, and there are deeper and more interesting aspects ahead of us. As far as the laws of physics show us, the universe has 11 dimensions, or better to say, it must have. The first step is the one-dimensional. A straight line, a line between 2 points, or simply length, means a body with neither width nor depth and is just a straight line. Someone living in this dimension can only move forward and backward and won't have any movement to the right, left, up, or down. The second step is the two-dimensional. What does this dimension look like? A rectangle and a triangle are examples of two-dimensional objects. The two-dimensional world has only 2 sides, length and width, and has no height or depth. This is known as a two-dimensional object. Someone living in this dimension can only move backward, forward, left, or right, but won't have any perception of the depth of the universe. The depth is hidden from them, so their world is flat, and the depth is 0. A good example of two-dimensional is a television screen or a mobile phone screen, and that's why we call them flat, as they have no depth. Three-dimensional objects. If we add height and depth to 2 dimensions, it becomes three-dimensional. Three-dimensional objects, like the world we are in right now, are cubes or spheres. In the three-dimensional world, we can move in any direction, backward and forward, left and right, up and down. So, we are completely free. Now, it's better to move towards unknown worlds. The 4th dimension is time. Time is considered the 4th dimension. As we said, we live in 3-dimensional space and can move in any direction. But if there is no time, everything stops, and there will be no movement or change. So, this dimension of time causes movement and change in the 3-dimensional space. Without time, the universe would be like a picture without movement. Unfortunately, we only have permission to exist in the dimension of time. and we have no control over it. It means time forces us to move forward. But if we have the power to control it, we can move freely at any time and have the ability to travel to the past and future. Now it's time to get to know dimensions beyond our imagination. Dimensions that are almost hidden from human understanding. The fifth dimension. As we said, these dimensions are almost incomprehensible and unacceptable because they exist in the atomic world. These dimensions mostly deal with probabilities. But why can't we feel or perceive these dimensions? Actually, these dimensions exist on their own and are not perceivable. That's why they are called compactification. But why don't we feel this fifth dimension? Let's break down the fifth dimension into simpler terms. Imagine you're watching a movie. In this movie, there are different scenes, each showing a different moment in time. Now, think of the entire movie reel, from start to finish, as the fourth dimension, which is time. Now, the fifth dimension goes beyond just the movie reel. It's like having multiple movie reels, each showing a different version of the movie. These different versions could have alternate beginnings, endings, or even different stories. So, in the fifth dimension, you're not just moving forward and backward in time, like in the fourth dimension. Instead, you're exploring different possibilities and variations of time, all happening simultaneously. It's like having multiple timelines or parallel realities coexisting simultaneously. The sixth dimension. In the sixth dimension, a person has immense power, meaning complete control over space, time, and even their own quantum world. It means they can appear in any form anywhere, because their world is like the quantum world of probabilities. So, the sixth dimension is a level above the fifth dimension, but with more control over space and time. In the sixth dimension, we enter parallel worlds, which are called parallel universes. This dimension shows us all the possibilities existing in the past and future. But one characteristic of this dimension is that all the worlds start from a common point, which is the Big Bang. It means all worlds in the sixth dimension start from one common point, which is the Big Bang explosion. This is the limitation of the sixth dimension. The seventh dimension. This dimension also brings parallel worlds before us, but this time they are infinite in number. A person existing in the seventh dimension can enter any world and can have an infinite number of copies of themselves. The difference between the sixth and seventh dimensions lies in the universe's birth. In the sixth dimension, all worlds start from a common point, but in the seventh dimension, it's not like that. It covers more parallel worlds, worlds that have different beginnings. The universes existing in the seventh dimension have different probabilities. The eighth dimension. A movie that explores concepts similar to those of the eighth dimension is The Matrix. Although it doesn't explicitly delve into the eighth dimension, it presents a digital world where reality is manipulated and controlled. According to the laws of string theory, in the eighth dimension, there is nothing physical, meaning it lacks physical form. Anything existing in this dimension neither collides with anything nor can it be touched because there is nothing physical in this dimension. The best example for the eighth dimension is the digital world. A person existing in this eighth dimension is completely free in time and has full control over space in all its infinite worlds. This person exists in an infinite number of worlds with infinite possibilities. The ninth dimension. This dimension is incredibly astonishing and unbelievable. In this dimension, all worlds with all possibilities exist in one space. It's a place where those beings are unaware of each other's existence, but a person existing in the ninth dimension sees each of them individually and is aware of their existence. Let's simplify the ninth dimension. Imagine a big library with countless books. Each book represents a different universe with its own story and characters. In the ninth dimension, all these books exist in one giant room. Now, picture yourself as a librarian in this room. You can see and understand every single story in every book, even though the characters in each story are unaware of each other. You can freely move between the pages of these books, experiencing the past, present, and future of each universe. And you can do this without any physical limitations. In this dimension, the possibilities are endless. Each universe follows its own set of rules, creating infinite variations of reality. Let's simplify the concept of the 10th dimension. Imagine there's a place beyond all the parallel universes we've talked about before. This place covers infinite parallel worlds, and understanding it is nearly impossible for us. Now think of someone or something existing in this 10th dimension. This entity has infinite power, and it's said that only a divine being could exist in this dimension. This person or thing in the 10th dimension has the power to control everything. They can create other dimensions, and anything is possible for them. The possibilities in this dimension are endless, and even thinking about it is almost impossible for us. But I've also done my best to make it as simple as I can. Imagine you're playing with building blocks. Each block represents a different universe. Now, picture a super powerful being who can create and control these blocks however they want. They can make new blocks, change their shapes, colors, and even make them disappear or appear. That's kind of like what it might be like in the 10th dimension, where anything is possible and everything is under control. In the highest dimension, the 11th dimension, everything becomes possible. According to string theory, the universe has 10 dimensions. However, based on M theory, the universe must have this 11th dimension. In the 11th dimension, everything, whether imaginable or unimaginable, becomes possible. In this dimension, words like absence or meaningless lose their significance because everything becomes possible. According to M theory, the smallest thing in the universe isn't an atom, a proton, an electron, or even a boson or quark. It's something much smaller, strings. These are incredibly tiny energy waves present in the 11th dimension. These strings are the foundation of my theory, acting as building blocks where everything in the universe, including all worlds and their probabilities, is constructed. Now, you might wonder, how small are these strings? In physics, they're considered to have an incredibly tiny. To put it into perspective, it's about a millionth of a billionth of a centimeter, which I can't really explain to you. It's unimaginably small. For comparison, if an atom were the size of the observable universe, a string would be as small as a tiny tree. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We have plenty more thrilling videos like this waiting for you on our channel.